All right, got some stuff in here. Let's get it dry. Get on and what? Door's closed. Why is it not working? It's making noise. Ah, crap. Well, let's fix it. Hey guys, it's Handcrafted by Jason Cooper here with another DIY video. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit subscribe here on YouTube and stop by my website at woodwork.cooperjason.com. Today's project is the dryer. It's acting up again. It's not working. You turn it on, you set it to time dry, and click the button and nothing happens. You can hear the timer clicking, so it's getting power. But there's a couple things we can check. So I'm going to grab my tools. I'm going to start taking this apart and I'm going to bring you along and figure out what's going on. All right, just for the record, this is the Whirlpool model. You can see the model number right there. I'll put that on the screen as well. Yours might be a little bit different, but they're going to be similar. The door is closed. We can turn this to on. You can hear the timer running. Push the button, it clicks, but nothing happens. Nothing comes on. Try the door again, close, open, close, click, nothing happens. So first thing we're going to do, turn this off, no noise, and we're going to unplug this thing and open it up. I've got it unplugged, slid away from the wall. Pretty sure that there is a wiring diagram in here. There's a screw on either side. You know, long Phillips should be able to undo that. Let me lift that up. I think that's all I need to do. I may be wrong. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've opened this up. There's one. Come all the way out. That's fine. Just get it loose. All right. Get that all the way out of there so I don't lose track of it. And wrap it on the floor. Well, anyway, now you should be able to slide this forward. And you can tilt this up. And you can actually get it the back side of this without taking the whole panel apart. The main thing I wanted was this, a wiring diagram. Take a peek at this. Of course, I got all those wires in the way. Electric up here, if you have the gas version, it's down here, so it's a little bit different based on the heating element on this. But the push to start relay shows here, shows a thermal fuse over to the motor, the electric motor. And then here's the return path. There's guard switch, eventually back to the door switch. So there's a couple things we're going to check out. Obviously, it could be the switch is bad. I don't think it is. It could be the door switch is bad and it's not letting it kick on. And it could be that the switches in the motor themselves are bad. So we're gonna start with the door switch. And then if we need to, work down to the motor, because I've had this issue before on this. It could be the same thing again, where the connectors or the terminals in the motor switches just needed to be cleaned, and then it worked again. So, but let's check that door switch quick while it's easy up at the top here, and we'll go from there. Okay, to open this up, pull out the nuts, trap, and there's two screws, one there, one there. That's our starting point. When you take these out, just don't drop them down there. So whatever you need to do to avoid that. There's those screws, set those aside. Now we're going to take, this is a fairly sturdy putty knife, something thin, the thin pry bar that you can stick in between here. We're going to pry up on this side, we're going to pry up on this side. There's just some spring clips that hold this. Get these things off the top, and this whole top will flip up. So that popped right up. There we go. Now we're inside. Ooh, let's see if that'll stay up. All right. So here is the door switch. I wanted to check that real quick. And I'm just going to disconnect here. Okay, let me get you a closer look at this. To undo this, you got to pry on that side there. There's a little catch right there. There's one on this side too. So you got to do both and then kind of work them apart. It's going to be a little hard to show you, but I'll set you back down here. There. And there we go. It's apart. Again, there's just those two little, see the little prong that sticks out on either side there. It's not as pronounced. Fit in those little grooves. Now we're going to check this. So the way this switch would work, as you can see that there's, sorry, I should show you that. There's 3 contacts. So when it's closed, you're going to have continuity between 2 of them. When it's open, or yeah, you're going to have continuity between the other ones. If you don't have continuity on one of those, then your switch is bad. Or if it doesn't change, then you got a bad switch. So let me double check that. So I'm keeping the red probe on the side with the point, and then trying the other 2 terminals. And middle one has continuity. Close the door, switch, middle one, no continuity, outer one continuity. So I think this door switch is fine, which stinks because that'd be an easy fix other than I don't have the part. Clip that back together. I'm going to take this to the next phase here. Next phase, I got to take off this front panel and get down and test the motor, make sure it's getting power when it's supposed to. And there's, you can see here, there's a little nut right there, or screw right there, hex nut, whatever, hex screw on either side. Pull those off, and this whole panel will come out. We'll get the right size head for that. I think those are 5/8, or not 5/8. I think those are 3/8, but I'll see. Okay, I lied. For the record, 5/16 is what we needed here. I can set you down there. Now, just, whoop, as you can see, you just kind of pull it forward. Your tumbler will move, and then you can, oops, eliminate it. I need to leave that door switch disconnected. Duh. So you get a better view of this time. Right on either side. Release those. There we go. Now, kind of pull it out. And up. And it will release. I'm holding the tumbler in place. Alright, let's see what you guys can see now. Okay, I'm kind of holding this tumbler here. It wants to fall. It won't like go anywhere, but I want to get down underneath and check out the motor. I'm going to have to get situated and get the light. Hold on. Alright, so I lied. I'm actually going to take this whole thing out of here because it's a little hard to get at this, but I want to be able to check the wires in that connection, see what's going on. And my suspicion is it's the contacts in the motor here. But I took a picture of this so I can remember how it goes back together. But there's a single belt that goes around the whole drum, and this pulley holds the tension on it. It's currently resting on it. It wouldn't normally be. It'd be seen up from it. You can see a little bit there how it turns. So I gotta slip that off of there, slip this off of here, get some tension out of the belt, and then I can pull this tub out. So lift up on this. Should be able to just work this belt off the pulley. Oh, sorry, not off the pulley. I have to work it off the motor. There we go. There we go. And just kind of leave that in place. I'll pull the whole drum out here. There's the beauty. Best part of this, get to find all the lost change. Look at that. I mean, like 80 cents, 82 cents. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off, test for power coming in. That means I'm going to actually plug this thing back in. If you're not comfortable doing that, don't do it. But like I said, I'm pretty sure our problem is contacts in here aren't making connection. So the door switch seems good. I know the main cutout isn't fried, or we wouldn't have any power. The timer wouldn't be clicking and running. So I think it's here in the motor is why it's not started. So I'm going to pull this off and do some tests and see what I can find.
Okay, a little clip here.
Maybe we'll just go ahead and take the motor off and do it that way. So there's a release here, this little thing that holds the motor in that bearing, I think. It's been a while since I've had this apart. I don't remember how it comes out of the back, but see if we can figure that out. Should be able to just pop this off. Might go flying, we'll see. Might be a pain to get back on too. Oh, I remember right. You gotta go like this. Well, maybe I need a better screwdriver. Got close. Hey. There it goes. Okay. Yep. Now let's see about that back side. How does that hold in there? Oh, same thing. There's one back there. Okay. Take some lineman's pliers. Grab that tab from the top. Pinch it. Gonna pry back. Push down. Pry up. There we go. Release that piece there. I say that and I can't get it up. Okay. There we go. So if you're looking at it, it's got these little catches there that catch on those hooks, and it's just covering it. So now, hopefully, make me a liar. I don't need to take it out. I just need to turn it up. That's what I did. Okay. So I want to get to this. Get this off. There we go. Okay, so now I can test this. Let me get my tools set up here and give it a go. All right, so if you remember, on here, the line, in fact it says it right there, the line to the motor, it's hard to tell, but is the blue. White is going to be your neutral. Sorry, let me show you that. So my power's coming in for the motor here. White's my return. The reds are actually for the heating element. So the heating element won't come on unless the motor is running, because the motor turns the fan, which pulls the air through, otherwise it's going to overheat. So to test this, I've got it rigged up. I've got the door back connected, the door switch connected. I've got the timer set to on, and I can reach up in here and hit the switch. But right now, the door is open. And so if we test for voltage, and I've got it set to 120 volts AC on my multimedia. Oops. It's hard to do one-handed. Let me get that set and then I'll show you. Okay. So, testing blue and white. I've got nothing currently. And if I close the door, sorry. Oh yeah, door switch. There's the door closed. I can hear the timer kick on. I still should not have anything. Again, nothing coming through. So I'm going to reach up here and hit the start. That should trigger power to come through. And you can see there, 119.4 volts. So we're getting power to the motor. It's just not kicking the motor on. So next we're going to check out the contacts in this switch. is this harness plugs in right here, and you can see all the connectors there. Before I do that, let me go ahead and kick this off. Okay, so here's the plan. Take a picture, so I know how everything was connected. What I have to do is undo the start windings and the other main windings connections here. There's a small wire here, one here, and then this is just a jumper between here and there. So, and then I can undo these two star screws, torque screws, pull this whole switch out, and take a look at it. Small pliers. Really use the big dogs. Careful. Oh, I caught on there. If I could see what I'm doing. Oh, there's a little hook. There we go. Keep those from crossing. Okay. Got my switch part. Let's stand up. Relieve my legs. Okay, so now can take this cover off, probably. Oh, and there's a little lever here too. Pay attention to that. Okay. How does this work? Oh, there we go. Trick was lifting this little tab. There's a catch under it. Yeah, that little knob is in there. Now be careful, there's some springs and stuff in here. You can see it's actually, I don't know if you can tell that in this light. Give me a little more on there. It's really dirty where those contacts are. So I'm going to get a little, my theory is it's just all carboned up. I'm going to get a little contact cleaner, or not contact cleaner, a little sandpaper. Get in and rough those up a little bit and see if we can get better contact, and I bet that's what our problem is. Yeah, it's all carboned up. I've got some sandpaper, I got some 180 and some 220. It's just gonna, one at a time, make sure these are nice and shiny. I don't know if you can get just a new switch for this, or if you have to replace the whole motor. Okay, that one looks a lot better. Put it back in before I forget where it goes. It's underneath here. Just gonna go down the line, see if I can pull one out at a time. That one doesn't look too bad, but we'll give it a clean anyway. Probably some contact cleaner you can get that would help this, but we're just going to do this. Because under that one there, as you can see, this little lever here presses up and it connects these two top ones. When it's at rest, it connects to the bottoms. I don't know exactly what those are doing without looking at the wiring diagram. That's okay. Okay, next one. That one's not connected to that's this one here. Oop, pull that out of there. Yeah, it looks pretty boogered up. goes in here. Next one, I think we can get that one out. Maybe. I'm going to put my pliers. I'll find out. Oop, don't want to bend it up. Darn it. Try on the bottom here. There we go. That's kind of in the way there. Will that come out? This, I believe, is the main contact. Yeah, look how charred that is. The bottom looks good, but that top does not. Every time it arcs, every time it switches, just a little more carbon buildup. Sometimes it's enough to eat away a little bit of the metal. See, there's a little bit of a pit in the middle on this guy. I'm just going to do the best we can to clean that up. See if that gets us working again. Then we can look into either ordering a new motor or a new switch. Maybe. Or just do this every couple of years. Looks better. Let's get this side while we're at it. So that side looked pretty good. But you can see the charring around it from the arcing. Let's go in this direction here. Okay, let's see if I can get this back in there. Up over in between. That one's in. I gotta get this one. I already did that. Let's see if I can get this one out, but it's behind this one. Will this pull out? Oh yeah. Perfect. There it goes. Oh, darn it. Anybody see where that spring went? Oh, that's got to, no, that's right. I bet it went right there. That would make sense. Okay. Check that one. Yep, that's pretty dirty too. Ah, cleaned up quick though. Nice and shiny. Okay. Oh. Now where'd the spring go? Shoot. Seriously? Have to review the footage. Yeah, let me get that back in there for now. Oops, too high. It goes in right like that. That goes on top. And then that is right there. It just looks like a ground. Okay, now I gotta find that spring. I'll be back. Okay, found my spring. That's in there. Everything looks good. That trips up. It allows, again, this was the one allowing the main electricity to the heating element pass through. So you got, I assume both legs of 120, 240 volts going through there. And there's start windings and then there's main windings on the motor. Start windings trigger a centrifugal switch that will, at some point allow that you know, allow it to do its thing so that it knows that it's spinning. And that's, again, that safety feature. So let's get this cover back on. That little post in there, and then we're good to put this back on. All right, I didn't record it, but put this back in place, the 2 screws, put the wires in back in place just like my photograph, match them up. Now I'm going to get this back on, get the motor turned back down, get the things back on, and we'll test it here. Probably won't show you that whole process until I get it all put back in place. Okay, got it back in place. These clamps back on, holding it down, it's not going anywhere. Turned back in place, got the harness back on, got the power back on. You can hear the, well, you might be able to hear the timer clicking. Hear that? Got the door switch set closed. I'm gonna try turning it on and see what happens. What the heck? Okay, so what is going on? I got a loose connection? Yep. I do. Let me figure that out. Okay, so that didn't quite get it, but I took out this terminal here. Now, this is just a pass-through from the incoming blue wire, I think it was to this wire, which goes back here and eventually to the windings. I don't know if this is a fuse back here or what. But when I wiggled the harness, it'd kick in and it'd spark out where the blue wire connects. So I pulled this out to check this connection on the blue wire, which is right there. And when I slid this in, there was almost no resistance. It was loose in there. So I've reached in here, oops, in the end here, and bent it up a little bit so it squeezes tight against the terminal. And now it'll stay in by itself. So we're going to put this back in the switch, put it all back together, and give it another shot. And hope that that's what we were dealing with. I also cleaned it off a little bit. There's a little bit of carbon on it as well. Okay, let me get this put back together and we'll test it. All right, so I've got it back in place. Bracket holders on front and back. Get the wiring harness in place. I cleaned out the terminals, all the contacts, and then I fixed this blue terminal so it was binding more tightly with that post in there. And let's see if it's going to work. I've got the power back on. You can hear the timer maybe. Got the door switch hooked up and the door closed. And let's see what happens. Well, that was it. That took care of it. Okay, to get this back in, the belt's going to go on it with the groove sides down. You might want to clean off your dust and fuzz and stuff. This edge with this kind of funny lip here. Now you spot where the rollers sit. Those sit in this little groove. So you got to kind of get them up on there and slide up against this and kind of turn it as you put it in, and it will go. It's going to be hard to let you see this. Well, can't really see. Back up on the rollers. Kind of turn it. Make sure it's fitting. Oh, that seems to be good. Okay, now we got to go down underneath. And got to get our belt. Oops. It's going to go roughly like that. So I can take this, get the belt around the motor. Oh, no, that's not right. I'm going to prop this with something. Okay, get both hands under there. That side goes like that. Pull the belt over like that, and then spring this enough, get that around the motor. And that tensioner should be on there good. Make sure that's sitting there good. And I know you can't see that real well, but it's there. And then we're gonna give it a little spin. Yep, get my pop out of place. Yeah, that looks like we're good. Gotta get that little catch. There's one on either side in this little hole here. So you gotta kind of set it on, and then it'll drop down in. And then we can line up the tumbler with the lip on the door. And that's what we gotta do. This is gonna be fun. Okay. Too high for pizza. Oh, got that side on? Got that side on. Get the tumbler in place. Seems to be okay. Now we've got the two hex head 5/16. Don't ever want to overdrive these. In fact, let's see if I can line this up by hand first. Okay, there's started. Okay, snug. Look at this side. I know you can't see that, but nice. And with that like that, we should be able to drop this back down. Crap on my head. I'm going to spelt out, maybe give it a turn until it's, you can see that. The belt's not tracked quite right, so turn it until it lines up. It'll straighten itself out, it just takes a minute. There we go. Turn it fairly smooth, and then here connect the little connector. Easy peasy, okay. Now back down, and 2 screws. Okay, you hear the timer ticking because I've got it plugged in. And the door is closed. And the door switch is now connected, so I'll test it here in just a second. And let's see. Kicks on. Alright. Trap back in place. Remember, I pulled those screws from here. Pulled this to get the wiring diagram out. I just got to put it back. It's tucked in right over here. Put this back in place. Down in, pushes back. That screw is still in there. Same on the other side. Get that screw over there. Okay, top is secure. And we are back up and running. Feel the heat. Check again. And it's working. That's it. Well, that was a little more involved than I expected. It wasn't quite the exact problem that I thought, but pretty close. Got to check those terminals and those connections and those contacts. Hopefully you like this video. It was helpful for you. Again, don't attempt repairs unless you're comfortable doing them. You take your life in your own hands, really. But if you would, stop by my website at woodwork.cooperjason.com and check that out. And hit subscribe here on YouTube if you think this was helpful. Check out some of my other videos as well. That's it for today. We fixed it.